It looks like right down here the building ends, but this building was actually much longer. That's where the tornado tore through on the south side down there of the building. We now know here on the north side where things are mostly intact, that's where 44 people were sheltered. A St. Charles County mayor is stepping in to address bullying in the city of Wentzville. News 4 first showed you this shocking video here back in June. New York has already declared a state of emergency, with their governor telling residents it's coming. We are continuing to track breaking news in East St. Louis. Crews are battling a fire at a recycling center at 18th and East Broadway. This right here is our live camera from our photographer. We also have been watching this from our Arch camera. Can we take a look at that view? Look at all of that smoke, just to see their life scattered. I mean, they've got their breakfast muffins here, and this is what they're facing this morning now that those winds have finally died down. Walt's over there on hold with the insurance company, and they're just trying to decide where they're going to stay tonight. What are they going to do next? Claire, watching that devastation unfold yesterday, everyone was asking, how do we stop this? But even hours before it happened here at Hazelwood West High School, they were already starting the process of putting metal detectors inside of the school. It goes into those drains, and that is working right now. That's why this lane right here was able to open just now, and these people were able to get through. These MoDOT workers, they were up to about waist-high water, if you remember 30 minutes ago. Now you can see how much better. Intersection, they came this way. I just talked to the owner of this shop right here. She said they hit this concrete planter, so you can see these scratches right here. She told me this planter actually moved back. Now I asked the prosecutor, how did Banowitz know to target Gorey? And he said another thing on his computer was a search of rich people in the area. You can see where the truck veered off of the road last night. You can see those tire tracks coming all the way through this grassy field and hitting the back of this house. In fact, down here, this is the footing of the deck. So this deck would have been right here above me. That's even the sliding glass door that walked out onto the deck. Aaliyah, you are not everyone's favorite person this morning.
Oh, no.
You're always my favorite person, but nobody wants to see 15 degrees. Mo, that's right. You were talking a little bit about the history. That's one of my favorite parts about baseball, is just the history behind it. It's America's pastime. Welcome back. Have you ever had a St. Paul sandwich? Because if you Googled it, you'll see claims that it was created here in St. Louis. But our Steve Harris found out that may not be true. But it's still a sandwich that St. Louis holds near and dear. So the plan is for me to slide out across the ice using these picks to pull myself out there into that hole.
Okay, here she go. Moment of silence here.
Oh! Very nice. Very nice.
Oh my goodness.
Julia,
It's been about 10 years, so
we hyped it up.
I might be on ice later. If I make this bag in that hole, the St. Louis Cardinals are going to win the World Series this year. So no pressure. Let's see if I can do it. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I just yelled, but I really did not expect to make that at all. So you guys saw it right here. I just want to say this might be the greatest moment in my entire life. That's all I
We
want to say.
went berserk.
The icon has not popped up. Oh, there, you saw it come up. That is where the crash is right there. Not causing too far back of a slowdown because this did just happen, but I'm going to be keeping my eye on that.
It really is, Ken. I will say that someone had some issues out there on the road. There was a stall here, 170 southbound at Olive. Our MoDOT camera just went out of focus just in the last few seconds, but it's right around here. The left lane is blocked. So I took a look at some of the MoDOT cameras back behind it, and here at 170 and Page, there is starting to become some backup. Now, I checked in with MoDOT. They said they expect this to be cleared out by 6:34. So we have about a minute or two until they get this cleared. If you're headed out the door right now, there's a good chance it'll be cleared by the time you get there. Taking a look at the map across the board, I'm not seeing any other issues there. Out by Olivet is where we have that stall, and we have our typical morning slowdowns at 55 northbound into the city. But besides that, take a look at where you are right now, and you're going to see green as you head out the door. Let's talk about the luxury tax in Missouri. I've been reading through this bill here, only here on Channel 4, and it's big news for the city of St. Louis. I'll give you a little tip right now. Biggest thing that happened over the weekend, Johnson & Johnson's vaccine was approved, so the U.S. now has 3 COVID.
This is my house right there, and my house right there. It shouldn't have burnt down. It shouldn't have burnt down.
Denise Buchanan says that she is left with nothing after her house caught fire, and she blames faulty fire hydrants in Cahokia Heights. Now, this is not the first time I've heard these concerns. It's an issue I've been looking into for months.
So you would go over to Cahokia Heights. Did you notice when you were there that there was a problem with the water?
Yes, I have, because I've been inside multiple homes where they had to shut down the hydrants and move to a tanker for water source.
And why were they shutting down the hydrants?
Because the hydrants ran out of pressure. They ran out and they went to another hydrant, it ran out.
So when a fire broke out Wednesday morning, those concerns were brought back.
Do you feel safe living in Cahokia Heights?
No.
This home just off of Camp Jackson Road you see is at a total loss. And if we look just across the street is the fire hydrant. But if we look even closer here in the grass, this is a piece of that fire hydrant that came off when they were trying to get the water out of it.
Now Buchanan looks onto what is left of her home as she stands right next to those broken pieces of the fire hydrant. She said she believes it took 30 minutes for them to get the hydrants working. It's something that many say they have been trying to get fixed.
And we went to Cahokia to the mayor, like multiple citizens have, and multiple fire departments, and they do not give us an answer at all.
So I started looking for answers. Back in March, I did some digging. The mayor declined to speak with me, but instead he sent out this press release saying that he checked with the fire department and, quote, Cahokia Heights does not have any issues with their water pressure. So I stopped by City Hall.
Do you know when he'll be back?
No.
I'm told Mayor McCall is not in right now. He's out in the field working. He won't be back until later today. But the reason why I really wanted to see him in person was to play him this sound I have on my phone. It's scanner traffic of his firefighters at a fire begging for help, asking for more water.
We got a dead hydrant. I need Columbia tanker. Columbia, please.
After more than 3 months of trying to get a hold of him, I found the mayor at an event cleaning up the community, and I asked him about the fire hydrants.
I sent a letter out to all of the fire chiefs to ask them to give me a list of any of the fire hydrants that need to be replaced or repaired. At this date, I did receive a letter back from a couple of the fire chiefs, and right now my water and sewer department is replacing those hydrants, so we're very, very pleased about that.
Back in March, when you said that they were all fine, had you not talked to them yet about it, or have the fire hydrants since broken?
Well, I don't know. I've been busy with the city. I do recall reaching out to all of the fire chiefs, all of the police chiefs in our area, so I can't recall exactly that conversation.
So the mayor told me a few days ago that they are going to fix the fire hydrants that have issues. Do you believe that?
No. No, not at all.
In Cahokia Heights, I'm Julia Avery, News 4.
What's gone up more is rent.
And as renters continue to flood the housing market, buyers in St. Louis are getting creative to score their dream homes. We ask realtors, is there any relief in sight?
And this is News 4 this morning, watching out for you.
Well, good morning, or should I say top of the morning to
there you go.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Julia Avery. I'm in for Maurice Drummond today.
And I'm Claire Kellett alongside First Alert meteorologist Kent Derhart. We think of St. Patrick's Day. We think of spring. We think, oh, maybe the weather will be like that. I mean, we're going back to winter here. Yeah.
Sunshine,
But no.
green grass,
Tulips,
warm
you
The
temperature.
leprechauns turned around and said, we'll be back next year.
Yeah. It's,
We're not.
Yeah, and Kent, I'm pulling double duty this morning. I still got your traffic covered. I got my eyes on the roads. Just in the last minute, this picture changed. This is Gravois at 270, and there were flashing lights there. There was a crash there, and we just watched those emergency vehicles pull away. So no more issues there, 278 Gravois. I also wanted to show you that 270 in that area. No issues at all. Those cars moving freely across the map. There's that accident that has been cleared. Across the map, pretty good. Not seeing very many issues. A few slowdowns there, 55 northbound coming into the city because of that construction. But besides that, your St. Patrick's Day commute should be an easy one.
all right, well, Rockwood's
For the first time since his hiring, News 4 is sitting down with the new chief of police in Ferguson. Lieutenant Colonel Troy Doyle has been with the St. Louis County Police Department for 31 years now. He's worked with young people at the Police Athletic League to engage with the public following the Ferguson unrest. Doyle says that he believes he can recruit officers to Ferguson despite their challenges, and his biggest promise is transparency.
When you're not transparent with the public is when people start, looking at us, like, what are you guys trying to hide? So why not be, if we don't have anything to hide, why not be transparent?
Doyle is currently suing St. Louis County for racial discrimination after he says he was passed over twice for the role of police chief. That case goes to trial in 2024. Doyle's last day in St. Louis County is March 23rd, and he'll start in Ferguson as police chief on April 3rd.
And there's swimming pools.
And we need those. So the City of Union is taking a new approach to fill those seasonal positions. They've lowered the minimum age of workers that it hires from 15 down to 14 years old. This is legal in both Missouri and Illinois. Some see it as a good thing, while others do have some concerns.
I think it was a postcard at her home.
The card demanding that she step down from office and sparking fear for her family's safety. News 4's Taylor Holt has details after it was brought up at yesterday's board meeting. Taylor?
And Julia,
Now we have an update on the Missouri Attorney General's petition to remove St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner from office. The 22nd Judicial Court of St. Louis has retained former Judge Booker T. Shaw for legal representation. Shaw will handle a subpoena for records in the case. He was a judge in the 22nd Judicial Court from 1983 to 2002 and also served on the Missouri Court of Appeals. Attorney General Andrew Bailey is alleging Gardner has neglected the duties of her office and should be removed. Well, the weather is forcing Mizzou football to move their spring game indoors tomorrow. That means it will not be open to the public as originally planned and as they do every year for their spring game. Temperature at kickoff is supposed to be in the 20s. So people probably wouldn't have wanted to come out anyways.
No.
Definitely not feeling like spring for that spring game. And speaking of Mizzou, we've got two Tigers right here. Fans are excited about the basketball team advancing in the tournament yesterday. Today is World Sleep Day, and a new study is raising awareness about sleep disorders in people with long COVID. The study in the Journal of Sleep showed that about half of patients reported struggling with insomnia. Doctors studying the connection say insomnia is often related to pain and is resistant to treatment.
Pain which can occur at night.
Even for those without long COVID, the pandemic has robbed Americans of their beauty rest. In a 2022 survey, nearly a third said they'd experienced sleep disturbances since COVID began. Doctors say it's critical to stick to your best sleep hygiene, regular bedtimes, and no screens, as hard as that is, late at night.
Just for watching late this morning.
Lots been going on. And before anyone could even check their brackets yesterday, many of them were already busted. Mine's been busted.
Along with Cedric are their best free throw shooters.
Clark in a straight jacket.
Oh, he didn't need to do that.
He threw it away.
The 13 seed Furman stunning 4 seed Virginia on a late three. Furman getting their first NCAA tourney win since 1974. You can see that excitement.
Yeah, you can feel it right there. They are pumped.
Oh, man. Well, some brackets may have still been intact after that. And I mean some.
Yeah, very, very, very little.
Tailgating at the Battlehawks game is going to be cold. And if you're sitting in the stadium at SC.
Those tailgaters, though, they
They're a
know
hardy
how
bunch.
to. They're
hardcore.
they know how to bundle up.
So are soccer fans.
That's true.
They're digging it. But